All right, so we are moving right along in our project. So we are moving on to task 6 today. So that's converting to actual dimensions. So your water park design has been drawn as a blueprint, but to build it, you'll need actual dimensions in lieu of the unit dimensions. So we're going to take that blueprint and we're going to take that and convert it into actual life-size dimensions in this task. So a large rectangular plot of land has been selected for development and the city has given approval for construction, knowing that the actual dimensions for the land is 301 meters by 196 meters in size. Determine the scale of your coordinate system. So we are going to count the number of spaces along the length of your paper. I've already done that for you. It is actually 48 spaces. So we're going to set a ratio equal to 48 spaces per 301 meters. If you remember, a ratio is another word for fraction. So we have 48, or division problem, over 301. Make sure that you always write your labels. So this 48 was units, and this 301 is meters. Okay, so that will be the ratio for everyone. That doesn't matter if you were to have your map horizontally or vertically. We're all going to use the same ratio for this task. It's okay if it's a little off of what it would actually be. We're all just going to use the ratio of 48 units over the 301 meters. That was a mistake that I made on my part when you guys at the very beginning asked if it mattered which way you had your map, and I said no, it does, but at this point I'm not going to make you redo things. We're all just going to use that 48 units over 301 meters as our ratio to solve for this. All right, so now that you use this ratio to solve the actual unknown distances by setting up a proportion and calculating. So we did proportions a lot last year in 7th grade, and we touched on it earlier this year, so this should be kind of a review for you. I'm going to show you what you're going to do. What I already did for toddler area to concessions, I'm going to apply that to the same place here. So you already found the distances between all of these attractions. So now you're just going to take those distances that you calculated in task 5 and apply it to the proportion here. So when I calculated task 5, the distance from the toddler area to concessions, I calculated it to be 14 and 4/10 units. And I'm going to set that equal to my ratio up above, which is 48 units over the 301 meters. Okay, if units are on top in my ratio, units have to stay on top in my second ratio. So I don't know how many meters that 14 and 4/10 units is, so that's going to be my variable x, because I don't know it. That's what I'm trying to figure out. So to solve for this, we're going to use our butterfly method. So I would multiply 14 and 4/10 times 301 and set that equal to 48 times x, or 48x. You always need to simplify that first part, or that left-hand side of the equation first. So the 14 and 4/10 times 301, I get 4,334 and 4/10, and that's equal to my 48x. I didn't do anything to that side. Remember, you're always going to try to solve for the variable. So 48 and x are multiplied. So to get x by itself, we need to do the opposite operation, which is division. So I'm going to divide by 48, divide by 48. X equals 90 and 3/10 meters. So that is what my actual dimensions distance between the toddler area and concessions is. So you are going to do these for all the other ones as well. Again, you've already found the distance. So that's what this portion is going to be. It'll change depending on what you calculated the distance to be from the help center to the water slide. That will go here because it's labeled in units. And then my other ratio, 48 units over the 301 meters, is going to stay the same for all of them. And I'm always missing that bottom one because we're always trying to find out how many meters apart the attractions are going to be. So this fill in the blank will be for all of them, depending on the distance that you calculated for each of those in task 5. If you have questions, I know these directions can be kind of confusing, especially where I'm not there to answer questions directly that you have. Make sure, though, that you contact me. We do have Zoom that you can ask as well. All right, good luck.